y'all. Hey, we are back. How y'all
Good
doing?
morning, YouTube world, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you may catch us. Good morning, good morning, happy Sunday
Good
morning.
afternoon. Afternoon.
Welcome to
You're right,
spring.
afternoon. You're right. It
Happy
is
spring.
afternoon.
Happy spring.
Happy
Happy
spring.
spring. It has felt good the last 2 days because
Yeah,
Friday was a little
yeah,
nippy.
yeah. Definitely,
Sunday
the
was
weather is.
spring.
Oh, thank you, Jesus, because I didn't think for a minute I was gonna make it. But I have a message for our followers. We want you guys to know that we are still in restructuring, constructing the podcast. So if you miss out or feel like you've missed something or whatever, you have to understand that we do have lives, but Shakira does the best she can to make sure that she get everything edited and get it out to you guys so you can have the best. Just understand that we have things. Shakira got a high schooler that's getting ready to go off to college. I mean, it's a lot. Yeah, hey, Tuskegee getting some all right now. So it's a lot. So just bear with us. And, I know a lot of people be like, "Well, where's the other show? Well, where the other one?" And you ain't did it. Just work with us. You know what I'm saying? We work it through it along with our personal lives. We have personal stuff going on. I take care of my mom with dementia. So I mean, just work with us and we're gonna get this thing to where we want it to be and get it to the next level. We just have understanding and patience. And I promise you in the end, Chef Kids, you will love it. Okay.
With that being said, if you have a high schooler or college communications or audiovisual that needs an internship, we don't have no money just yet, but we would love a little help, and we will definitely give you some hours. And also, we have a nonprofit that we will definitely be able to help and give you community hours. So if you got somebody that knows how to edit, that help me get this stuff out faster, let us know. I like that PSA. That was a good one. I ain't think about that one. Okay.
Actually, that was, Anthony's, so yeah.
Yeah. We gonna get it out. I'm coming, y'all.
Yeah, it's coming. So don't give up on us. I know people have short attention spans. I get it. It's so much going on in the world today. We all have things. And I know it's kind of like reality show. Once some people get stuck on it, they want to keep saying, they want to keep saying, they want to keep saying it. And we're gonna get there. We will get there. I assure you we will.
All right. Well, today, we want to take us, I don't know if it's a step back or a step forward, to just woosah when it comes to this war in Iran and talk about how it's going to affect us politically, talk about how it's affecting people emotionally. I know there's a lot of people who have family in the military that may or may not have gone already or pending. I know that's a lot. This automatic draft thing came up. So we just want to talk about that and acknowledge the fact that it's affecting us in more areas than just the gas pumps. Because that's so it is affecting us in more areas. So we want to talk about it and acknowledge it and get some thoughts on it and feelings on that. And then what's the hope? What do you think we're gonna do at the end of this? Cause we gotta do something.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna throw my little 2 cent in. First of all, I think it was bullshit, but that's just my personal take. But also, I stopped.
Everybody's personal take.
Yeah, and then I stop and I say, well, okay, 77 million people voted for this. I mean, the man has the gift of gab. Talk about Trump. He has the gift of gab, and people listen and they follow the cult. And when you are part of a cult, I mean, you stick with the cult leader until the end. And when you go back to like Jim Jones and the people that were in Waco, Texas, when you go back, in the end, it's death. Nothing but a whole lot of death. So I sometimes I say sorry but not sorry, because 77 million people rode with this, really believing that this man was going to have their best interest at hand. And I personally see a takeover of America. Maybe China, maybe China, I don't know, who knows. I'm just hoping that when that piece of come, that I'm already gone. You know what I'm saying? And not
I'm gonna find this clip. I saw this morning on TikTok where it was on CNN or NBC,
mm-hmm.
Fox. It was on one of them stations. I'm gonna plug it in. But they said we polled Trump MAGA supporters, and 100% of MAGA supporters say that they still support Donald Trump.
MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump. 0% say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Now, there are some Republicans who disapprove of Donald John Trump, but they are not members of the Make America Great Again movement. The bottom line is this: if you are a member of MAGA, you approve of Donald Trump.
It's interesting, though, because there have been a couple prominent people who have sort of come out online, and they're very mad about this war with Iran because he promised no new wars. Is there any sign that people might be leaving MAGA relative to 2024?
Yeah, okay. So, I've said it before, and, the theme of this segment is Tucker Carlson be darned. And when we look at the number, MAGA GOP.
And they're trying to make it seem like everyone support him, but let's use our common sense, which people are not doing. If you only poll people who support him, don't you think you're going to get 100%? You didn't poll everybody else.
I've never had a Gallup poll, a personal poll. Nobody never polled me. Asked me.
Nobody ain't got a poll for nothing. Yeah. But this was really funny that it's on the news. It says we polled MAGA supporters.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you poll everybody? Yeah. So yeah, you're gonna get 100% of support from him, and people are running with it. All these MAGA supporters are running. See, look, people still support him. People, no, a whole bunch of dummies were asked, and a whole bunch of dummies gave their answers. So yes, I mean.
Well, when you have an administration that has done what they have done, I mean, you've taken all the news out. The BET getting ready. Black movies won't even, shows are not going to even have a station to be on anymore. Because
they're not going to close BET. They're just reallocating the shows.
They're moving Tyler Perry shows off of there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they're trying to bring the black people to Paramount.
They want exactly. They want them to go to Paramount, and then my thing is like. So you've already taken over the major news, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, MSNBC. You've already silenced all of them. And you really can't get your information unless you're going to like Al Jazeera, station, which I got plugged in a little while ago to that, and actually people that are over there on the ground, they're like sending, snippets and stuff to different people. And you pull it from, TikTok or Instagram. So I feel like we have killed so many people over there in the last 3-4 weeks. Kids have just died. Kids die here too. It's like a global killing. You know what I'm saying? He has started like a global killing. And nobody seems to care.
Well, first of all, the news media always been white ran and white control. So don't be fooled by this so-called takeover elimination. It's always been white. ABC always broadcasting Caucasian. NBC nothing but Caucasians. CBS Caucasian broadcasting system. It's always been that.
I love it.
Very few
white man country, white man world.
Those, and it's no longer MSNBC, it's MS Now. But again, like I told Shakira last week, we have AI. They don't. Ancestral intelligence. When before cable news was out, and the internet and text and emails, Dr. King's march went all around the circuit, and they came to DC on that day. It was not broadcasted on no news or radio. It was told through word of mouth through those black churches. Black slaves heard about the revolution in Haiti. There was no broadcast. Where Tessela Overton kicked Napoleon's A2SS. He kicked his ass out of Haiti, which is Haiti. And black folks knew about that, the slave. So let these evil barbarians do whatever they want to do. They're not going to win. They're not going to win.
Well, Malcolm X said that mainstream media was nothing but the enemy for the American people. You know, Malcolm X, he did say
necessary evil. It's a programming.
Yeah, it's a program, just like a cult. You know, being in a cult. You know, so
that's why we have to say our big ups and our props to people like Roland Martin, Joy Reid,
Don Lemon.
Those are the main three, but there's still so
you have Dr. Greg Carr, you on podcasts, you got a bunch of podcasters. You have Karen Hunter show, Dr. Daniel Laurie Flavor. She's excellent. So you have a bunch of podcasters, but I will also suggest for those who try to get other news sources beyond those cable ones, try to get someone reputable. The podcast is some of it is just for entertaining, but those ones that I named, these people are scholars. They read, they know their stuff, and they've been around. So you should also make sure whatever outlet you utilize that they are legit and have some kind of scholarly knowledge, because the rest of it is
There's a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube too that have been nominated for the NAACP awards. You have Lene, you have Too Conscious, you have Way Too Raw, you have elected official, I think his name is Gary Owen. Gary Owen is the white guy.
Lene is the one that started down here in the parking lot in Atlanta, right?
Yes. I'm gonna find the officials. This black guy, he's in Louisiana, and baby, he been putting them posts on blast. I'm gonna find him, and I'm gonna list all those people, their TikTok channels on here. A lot of them have been featured on shows of Joy Reid, of Roland Martin. They've had them talking. The guy Too Real, Too Raw. He was at the DNC with Kamala.
He's a Kamala supporter. He loves Kamala Harris,
and he will chew you out if you talk wrong about his first lady. Not first lady president. I'm sorry.
Right, vice president.
There's so many people who it may be animated a lot of the time, especially Too Real, Too Raw, but he be spitting the truth. Yeah. And we have, like you said, pay attention who you getting this information from. When it comes to anything, really, just anything. Pay attention and follow those people and where they've been before you like take their word for it. Another thing I like about all of those people, if they do report or say something wrong, they will come back and say, yeah, y'all, I messed up. This is what happened. I apologize. And sometimes they even take down the one that was wrong versus leaving it up, because people only see that video and it was wrong. So we have to,
we have to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, that's the word. Give credit where credit.
But but it takes everybody. It takes all of us. We can't just constantly depend on the same ones over and over and over and over. That's what happened in the political thing. We constantly depend on them same ones. John Lewis, what you gonna do? We're gonna vote you in again. You get 44 years, you end up leaving Earth, and But we have to step up. All of us, everybody, us. You know what I'm saying? We have to be more engaged and step up and speak up more.
But we've done that, and we still do that, depending on it. That's what you were doing with cable. You just named them, CNN, et cetera, et cetera. So we were depending on those. But here's a couple. You mentioned Al Jazeera, which is good. BBC is good. That's British Broadcasting, and also PBS. So PBS is a very good. But I think all news media have their biases or have what narrative they want to put out there. So that's where critical thinking skills come in, and you can always do your own research. You may not be able to go overseas and be a direct observationist. However, you still can follow other sources, because what you're doing, if you're getting the same information from various sources, then there's a good chance there's some truth in this.
Well, I want to know who started this meme talking about Benjamin Netanyahu dead, and then I can't find no information about is he really dead. They're saying that one of Iran strikes took him out.
I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw it, and I'm like, I haven't seen nothing else about it. So somebody post, it might have been you that says, is he dead or not?
Right. I mean, I'm like, because I'm sick of these memes. Oh, Iran took him out. Where? I mean,
But
I'm seeing
memes are
somebody
created
saying
for people who don't research and don't read. People see the memes and they run with it. That's why that whole thing about Michelle Obama being a man is running. Why? Because somebody made a meme and they shared it and they shared it and they shared it, and now that shit is out there. So yeah, you see a meme, still look at the information. You see an infographic, still research the information. That doesn't mean it's real.
Yeah, because they blew my mind with the one about, oh, she didn't give birth. One little white lady gonna argue, oh, she didn't give birth to those babies. Somebody else carried them.
Yeah, but remember, you can't go down those rabbit holes with that, because people have always been saying stuff for as long as I can remember. You just have to stay focused. That's the intent of the enemy, is to distract you. So stay focused on your goal, what it is that you want, and that's what we're going to do. This war, what is the end game? Didn't you mention something about what's the end game? I don't know.
What's the end game? But then what was the beginning game? Because if I'm not mistaken, before President Obama left in 2026, he sat down with Iran and put in a 20-year plan. And then when Trump came in, he shredded that.
Yes.
So is it the oil? Is the minerals? Do they want the country? I mean,
well, I think it's all the above. I think war, I'm totally against war. I think the only time you go to war when you absolutely have to. But war is a convenient excuse for things to go wrong, and it's also a money-making machine. Now, it doesn't matter.
We don't make nothing.
If he's saying that it should be over in a week or two, then why keep asking for money? Because he's just asking for $200 more billion. They spent a whole bunch of money, billions of dollars. And one will have to ask oneself, how could that money could have better served us here? So it's all a con game. It's a game.
I need somebody to help me understand, why do American taxpayer citizens, we work our ass off every day? Why are we taking care of Israel? Why?
Well, we take care of a lot of nations, but when you're talking about geopolitical or geopolitics, the average person have no clue to what it is. And so therefore it is strategic, because if you have put the world like a chess piece, you have to have your players in place for protection. And so one of the reasons they're saying about Iran, we cannot allow this rogue nation to have nuclear weapons, because they will use them. There's no doubt about it. Any Arab nation will
use it.
Yeah,
what's the point of it?
But it's been out for years and it hasn't been used. But we do know these Arab nations will use it because of their mindset of destroying their enemies, the infidel. Because one thing you can say about those people, they ain't cowards. Anytime you can commandeer a plane and drive it through buildings, or put a bomb vest on and go through the crowds and blow yourself up, you far from a coward. You might be crazy.
I mean, they have more guts than I do, because I'm not going to kill myself.
I'm not going to do that.
Allah and all that.
Right. So the point that I'm saying is, if you think about it, if those Arab nations truly get nuclear power to where it can destroy the world, I don't think they would hesitate to do it.
They have them underground, cuz they have them underground.
I don't think they have it to the point where United States, British, England, and Russia, China has it, and also India. They don't have those. United States had the nuclear weapons for quite some time, and atomic weaponry. But they did just show that Iran hit a military base that was 2,000 miles away. So they are developing capabilities of long-range missiles. However, long-range missiles is different than nuclear head with a nuclear head on it, because nuclear weaponry can be devastating. Just like the atomic bomb that when we dropped it in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, Japan, those people are still dying or having fallout from that, because it was a germ chemical warfare.
Yeah.
So that's one of the, as far as the geopolitics, do the world really want an armed nuclear Middle East with Arab nations?
I think we have some people that are their minds so far gone until they want to see a major war. You know, I've had some people to tell me, you know, on different platforms, we need a war right here on soil. We need a war on soil. You know, we want to fight on soil. Want to fight, and I'm sitting there going, I said, and then when I ask them, "You been to the military?" No. You don't even know what war is all about. Do you think you really want a war on soil? Do you really go? You might want to go and look at some pictures from the Vietnam War, World War II.
I think those people are just blustering and posturing.
That keyboard gangsters.
Yeah, want to be tough based on the internet because you can get on here and say anything, but when the kind of rubber meets the road, they're not going to do anything. But there are some sick, twisted people who want war. But remember Edwin Starr's record, War. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Well, I say
it's costing us every day. It's costing us and taking from us.
Yeah, but it ain't doing that. But I think we got to stop and pause because as people, as the collective, we called it a war off jump. Trump and his cronies didn't call it a war off jump. And the reason they didn't is because it's not a war, technically. It was not approved by Congress. The paperwork was not signed. They said no. They said it was they used another good word. And I was like,
attack. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just all out attack.
Yeah, but see, the thing that has happened though, as media, as people, we've all called it a war. So now they can use that word freely and be like, well, technically it's a war. And so all the things that they're doing that's illegal, we kind of speak it up for them and speak it into existence. And now it's gone too far and we can't hold him accountable for the bullshit because we done took it.
He can't be held accountable until 2029. That's
well,
when
I don't think anything will be done to him at any rate, because you could bring him crimes against humanity with the World Court, but they're not going to do it because they depend on America's dollars. So you're going to deal with this guy until he drops dead.
He ain't gonna never go to jail.
Yeah, he's not going to jail. So you guys should get that out your mind. It's not going to happen. Now,
but when they hold him accountable, I mean, stop that shit. Like nobody is standing up enough to have the balls to say, no, we're not sending no more money. The people that's over there is not saying, no, I'm not pushing that button. Nobody is saying no. Like, for example, he sent the email firing 17 people at one time on a Friday night, which is illegal thanks to Nixon, Reagan, one of them presidents in 72, 73, whatever. That whole Saturday night massacre that happened in 72, 73, it said in 78, the law was passed that nobody can, the president is not allowed to fire the attorney general, this and this and this, is checks and balances. He fired all these people with one email. Nobody had the balls to say, fuck what he talking about, because that shit is illegal, and showed up at work on Monday morning. What did they do? They backed the hell down. So I'm saying when he do dumb shit, when his whole administration did dumb shit, nobody said, ain't nobody hearing what you're talking about.
Well, Congress, they're not even holding this man to the Constitution.
That's the point I'm making.
They're not even making him abide by the Constitution. Let's take it back. If President Obama had did of what this man is doing.
If President Obama did the width of this damn piece of paper, the country would have imploded. So my point exactly, if he would have did this, everybody would have showed up and said, fuck that shit, let's impeach him. This man is doing all of this stuff that's illegal, and everybody's saying, oh, well, okay, because he said it. No. Why is nobody saying, including them 17 people that got fired, including all these people that just got fired over here?
The Democrats. I mean, what Democrats doing?
We're not even talking about the political parties. I'm not talking about Congress, Senate. I'm talking about the people who had regular jobs that he canceled, that controls shit, did not say, fuck what he talking about, I'm finna do it. Them people that USAID,
yeah,
they couldn't turn the money off without the person that's in charge of it turning the money off. So when he sent that thing that said, I'm done with this, nobody said, man, anybody got to hear that shit, and kept
Oh,
on.
he sent an email the other day when Robert Mueller died. I'm glad he dead.
It was
Twitter.
Twitter on his Truth Social. Yeah, it wasn't email. But the thing is with him, you have to give this guy his prop.
Yep.
He put a gangster move on this country.
Yes, he really
did. Now he's a punk. He's a wimp.
Yeah, he's a coward. He's a coward. Yeah.
He supposedly hung out with the mafia in New York, and that was his influence. Because if you listen to him and his method of operation, it's gangster moves.
Yes,
they are afraid. That's the whole thing. They're afraid. They just.
But it's the old style gangster like Al Capone them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that type of gangster.
But he still pulled that move. He have received some pushback. But remember, the first term, he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't really understand the intricacies of governing. Which he doesn't understand now, but he's got a little bit more clue to how to work his evilness. And this is what he's doing. And they're afraid. Do you remember he's an actor, rapper, Gambino? What is
Gambino? Yeah, Childish Gambino.
He made a video a few years ago. This is America. This is America. And the video was deep. And I suggest people go watch it. But anyway, he was starting to get pushback from it. And he said, no, it's not all what y'all it's just some video, just to be, because he didn't want to take the heat. But I could understand he's a young guy at the particular time. I don't think he's 30, 40 years old. That's a hell of a lot of pressure to take coming your way, death threats, coming to your house, stalking you.
He got blackballed from the music industry.
Wherever
after that song, he had made another one.
Well, right. But I'm just saying, he did say it wasn't being political. So it's you caught between a rock and a hard place when you go up against the system, because the system is been around a long time and you're not going to defeat it. I don't think any man is going to defeat this wicked system. I think this system can only be defeated by God. Now, will God use mankind to defeat it? Yes, possibility. But I don't think anyone can stop this evilness. It's just like with AI. It's the cat's out the bag. No one's going to roll back AI, and it's going to destroy jobs, et cetera, pull a lot of energy. Our light bills are going to go up. Going to use a whole lot of water to try to cool off those computer systems and everything. So it just is what it is at this point.
Yep, they've already started in Memphis, down by the Mississippi River.
Over in Mississippi as well. They got one coming up this way in Michigan.
Yeah, and they don't. We are dealing now with people in the White House, our politicians who no longer care about the interests of the American people. If you're not millionaire, billionaire status, they don't care nothing about you.
So this might be a little off, but this is what I don't understand about the data centers, which apparently we need them. So I don't even know to be against them or for them, whatever, because we need them. Why the hell can't the data center just pay their water bill and their electric bill? I don't understand. If we use power, our bill go up. So why is it on the people of the city that it's in to pay the water and electric bill?
Because they want the city to be responsible, because that's just how this, like Anthony said, it's set up for so long.
That's not the city's business. If the city owns the data center, then yes. But if it's a privately owned data center, pay your damn water bill.
No, they want the people to pay for that.
Yeah, but this system is corrupt to the core. This system is a reverse Robin Hood. It steals from the poor to give to the rich. Yep. That's what's happening here, because Michigan has some very good water. And by the way, I do not like y'all water in Atlanta. It's awful. But nonetheless, Detroit has some of the best water in the world. But nonetheless, there's water up there. Yep. There's I want to say Aquafina. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on it. But they have a private contract with the state to get Michigan's water for little or nothing, and they privatized it. They sell it. We buy those bottled waters.
It's all about corporations. It's not about the people anymore. It's about giving all corporations the power to do and control everything in this country. It's just they've sold us out to the corporations.
So in 200
and matter of fact, Congress go on vacation next week. Congress is going on vacation next week, and the TSA still not getting paid.
What you say, Shakira? So what now?
In 250 years, the United States has built itself from shit and destroyed itself from the shit that it built. Where you have other dynasties like the Chinese dynasty that's been around 1,200 million plus years. And it's immaculate. I don't want to say immaculate, but it's so much better than what we have. In 250, you have fucked everything up. Not to say it was perfect from the beginning, because the whole point was to not be what the rejects came from. But damn, in 200, you took this much time to build some shit and fuck it up.
Yeah.
And
he tore down the White House and still they haven't done nothing to it. It's just tore down.
Well, he tore down part of it, not the whole White House.
The
rest of the comments.
Right. But I just think it's that Euro consciousness, that mindset. They were in the dark ages, and just like you had mentioned, when these people came over here, they were criminally corrupt. It was their spirit, and they acted accordingly.
They wanted their own country. They wanted that.
And it just continues. So that demonic spirit that they carry, it continues to foster in this country. And just like you said, in these 200-300 years, you've managed to destroy the whole world. There is some report that Africa's been around for 7 million years, and we've never destroyed the planet. And these folks from Europe, only 7,000 years, and look what the heck they've done.
Yeah.
Think about it. From
superior.
Right, from 7 million years of existence to somebody come on the scene 7,000 years later, and look at all the hell and mayhem that comes.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, it is not for me to get. Okay, cool, bean. But just it baffles me that you celebrating 200. We celebrate 250 years this year. Have y'all seen the two designs for the Trump commemorative 250-year coin? While we're in the midst of this war, he is getting two coins to commemorate 250 years.
He probably is not going to get it. You can't have someone's image on a money unless they're deceased. Unless maybe they before.
I know. That was my next point. But on the 250-year commemorative one, his team has found a loophole, because they're saying it's not a personal coin for him, commemorating him. It's because he's the president at the time of 250 years. That's why they're being able to put him on the coin. I said, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, he came. Now, when he came back for this second term, he came back with a vengeance, baby, because he got some attorneys that not playing no games.
I want to know what law school they went to, and they need to teach classes.
Well, I don't think it's so much as that they that smart. I think they using a darts and throwing anything out to see what a stick.
Yeah.
And they know most Americans. They know just about the majority of Americans not gonna say nothing. They just want to get up every day, go to work, pay their bills, get their paycheck, take care of their kids, keep the lights on, keep food on the table. That's just their main goal, to just roll their everyday routine until their time is up. So they know.
I mean, I'm with that, because I could care less about his image being on a coin, because it really doesn't affect my day to day. But there are some who do. I'm about following the rules, if you will. But I just think there's bigger fish to fry than worrying about his ugly image on an ugly coin. So.
And the Constitution, the man has shown that. I mean, he just went against that Constitution. Each number down from 1 all the way down. They just took a pen and just said strike.
I'm gonna take that paragraph out. We're gonna take this one.
We ain't doing that. We're not doing that. And then you have the other party of people who
you trying to hold on to the Constitution. So don't get me wrong. Yes, you're supposed to hold on to the Constitution. I feel like
Constitution needs some changes, but it needed changes some years ago.
I think that it was worded so poignantly yet vaguely enough that it allowed room for growth or room for economic technology changes and all those things. I think
only if you're a white man. Only for the white man.
No, I don't want to say just for the white man. I want to say in general.
What Abraham Lincoln said in his last speech that he gave, part of that last speech, that Negroes would never be a part of the government system. They would never be congressmen. And I mean, he said that. That was
he said that, but that's not
true. It didn't happen, right?
And he put people in place after he said that bullshit. He was like, you know what? But I mean, the way that the like, for example, the 14th Amendment has been used over and over again since it's in whatever indoctrination inception since its inception, over and over again, to create new rules, new laws and all. Because of the way it was written, it can be interpreted in so many different ways. I don't know. I don't think I'm using.
But it was written during the times of the 1765, whatever it was, when back
not
then.
The 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment was written in right after the Civil War. All men are created equal.
Okay, yeah, that was still maybe not 17, was in the 18s, but all at the same time, they were writing things and putting it in play for their time. My opinion is times have changed. The world is evolving. America is evolving. Things are different now. So now you have to go back and tweak some of those laws and some of those rulings of that Constitution. You know, why can't they do that?
Because you have to follow the laws to get there. That's why I think so many of the words that were used were blanket words that would allow for evolution. I think a lot of those words were blanket to allow for the growth, so that when those change of people come in, you have those bright minds, those lawyers to say, well, wait a minute, we can go back to this law that was written in, or this part of the Constitution written in 18 so-and-so, and interpret it this way, and this applies to us today.
Okay, so why can't they stop him? Why can't they stop him?
Because nobody is having the balls to stand up to him, because his team is doing exactly what I'm saying. His team is looking at these laws that were written back then in this Constitution,
got a hell of a team,
applying it to today's evolution. They're looking at these words and saying, hey, we can take this and bend it to work for us. But nobody on the other side, and I'm not just meaning Democrat, Republican, Independent, but people in general, we're not, I don't want to say smart enough. We're not ballsy enough or bold enough or empowered enough to look at those same laws to say, wait a minute, boo-boo. Yes, you said this, but look, because 2 paragraphs down, or this part of this amendment also says this. I think they're looking at it the way we as Christians look at the Bible. We pull out this part that no, well, the way people look at the Bible, we pull out the part that want to apply to us, and we're not looking at the context before and after. I think that people are looking at the Constitution the same way, and versus looking at it as a whole. And because of that, they're able to pick and choose and manipulate and all of these words, because nobody is bold enough.
Step up, because they're cowards. We have a bunch of cowards, especially on the Democrat side. We got a bunch of cowards who don't want to step up and face this. And I understand why they don't, because they too are lining their pockets, you know, for the future generation of their children and grandchildren to have wealth. I'm all about generational wealth. I truly am. You know what I'm saying? And by any means necessary. I mean, we take Malcolm X, by any means necessary. You got to get it how you live it. You know what I'm saying? But because when you have a whole country that's going to suffer, because we got one man.
So the 14th Amendment was ratified July 9th, 1868, and it was addressing citizenship rights and equal protection under law. That's what the 14th Amendment was. So the Constitution was written by those white men, like you said, but what happened, the Bill of Rights came in. Congress injected the Bill of Rights, and that was to amend some of those rules or laws from the Constitution to fit more today's style or life, if you will. But you have people protesting. It's just not talked about. And see, he fired those inspector generals or put in people to do his bidding. So therefore, fighting from that legal aspect from a federal level is a bit of a challenge. But you do have state attorney generals that are filing appeals to some of those laws and rules that he's trying to implement. So he's not winning everything. It just appears that way. And
so was he allowed to fire those attorneys? I guess that was part of my point.
Right, but I think with him, since the since the Supreme Court gave him immunity, pretty much his mindset, I can do whatever I want, and he says that.
Yeah, do whatever.
And I think that's what happened. I don't think it caught the country off guard. They've never had to deal with a monster like this before. They had somewhat with Nixon and a few others. However, this monster, they really don't know what to do, and they are afraid because you have social media in the mix now, because people can go online and put your name in and get everything about you, go and kidnap your children, kill your mama, your daddy, the whole 9 yards. So people are afraid. They're afraid.
And that's a system that the government wanted. They wanted all this technology. They wanted all this AI and these, they set all that up. I mean, that was their thing. But at the end of the day, you can mount up in 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, you can mount up, get everything together, get all this, that, to go over and start bombing up a country. But you got one man that y'all can't restrain this man. And oh yeah, by the way, he's sending ICE out to the airports starting tomorrow. Their ICE going to be in the airports to get everything under control. He said since the security guards can't do it. That was on Good Morning Sunday, whatever show that is.
So ICE, you know what? Wait a minute, because what I was about to say was, what the fuck they gonna do? But why not send their ass and let them TSA workers go home? Because they ass get paid.
You ain't got to worry about ICE because the funding hasn't passed. So whatever little time they're going to be there, it ain't going to be for long. Let's see if
they getting paid. So since they getting a paycheck, they ass can go work the
funding. Right, but I agree with you. But the funding has not been renewed. So let's see how long they work without a paycheck. So here's the bill.
And they might feel it.
Right. So here's the Bill of Rights. So the Bill of Rights comprises the first 10 amendments of the Constitution ratified in 1791 to guarantee essential civil liberties and limit federal powers. So that Bill of Rights was used in place to counter some of the Constitution. So we just wanted some clarity on that, since you were talking about the Constitution and why can't we change it? It has been changed, but Congress have to implement a sort of Bill of Rights to allow legally to ratify or modify the Constitution, because you have those people who are strict interpreters of the Constitution, like old boy up there, Clarence, whatever his name is. Yeah, I know his last name, but I'm trying to be nice and give him a polite.
The biggest coon alive. Yeah. One of the biggest coons alive in the Supreme Court justice.
Literalist. And he's a smart guy, so he knows damn well what the founding fathers of the Constitution meant for his black ass, not to be even sitting there. Okay.
Well, he's a smart black man that never liked being black, came out of Savannah. You know, I guess he, like everybody else, we want to blame it on trauma and mental health or whatever, because his mom and them had to work cotton fields. Hell, my mom worked in cotton fields. My grandma worked in cotton fields.
I don't think it was just that with him. I saw a PBS special on him. I think he was shunned. He was
ugly.
Yeah, and that's the point. He wasn't the most attractive person, but I guess he was attracted to somebody. And I think he had a black wife once, but nonetheless, he was a part of the Black Panthers in college. And every place he went to, I shouldn't say every place, but when he went to certain settings, once he became a lawyer and got in law school and became a lawyer, they was like, how did you get here? Oh, you're not smart enough. So he faced a lot of that pushback. So
he was the one that went to one of them Ivy League schools, and literally it was because of affirmative action. They was like somebody else.
And Candace Owens won a case because NAACP stepped up and fought for her with an issue she had in college. But hey, they
but so it goes to what you say, some mental health, because he he just felt unloved, wanted,
worthy of being black.
He rebelled, exactly. Because if you look at Dennis Rodman was not a good looking guy. Michael Jordan didn't even go to the prom because of his looks. So black women shunned him. So they went over to the white side, the Snow Bunnies.
Well, what was Kobe Bryant's excuse? He wasn't ugly.
Don't do that.
I'm just asking. Kobe Bryant was not ugly. What was his excuse? You got a whole bunch of them out there not ugly at all. So what's their excuse?
We're not talking about that. We're just talking about what we mentioned here. But we gonna bring them back to the ranch, y'all, because we veered off that topic the other day.
I'm just saying, I understand Clarence Thomas. I mean, we have a lot of Clarence Thomases. You got the Scott man down in Carolina. I mean, I know some people right here in Atlanta hate being black. You know what I'm saying? They really do.
I feel bad for them because
I feel bad for them too. I really do, because that's a evil, wicked spirit that lies in you. That's crazy as all get out. You know what I'm saying? Because you could never make me feel bad for being a black woman. I don't care that I don't have no ass, no tits, none of that shit. That shit, I don't care nothing about none of that. I'm proud to be a black woman. No matter how light-skinned I am, whatever, I'm still proud to be a black woman. Every day I wake up, I'm proud to be a black woman. You know what I'm saying? Even when I watch stuff and see stuff and how they treat people and doing, I'm still proud to be a black woman, So I don't see why nobody would allow you. Why would you allow people to take that from you? You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's not the same. We all have our challenges. And when you have promoted a Eurocentric of beauty for forever and everything white is right, then why would you not want to be that?
And then they take this black ass out there and get the whitest one that ain't got no ass.
I cannot with you. Ellie, what was their name? The psychiatrist that did the doll test, Mamie and Ellis. Yeah, I'm put their name up. I didn't know that they just redid that study in 2025 and the results were still the same from back then. We have been conditioned. I don't know. You don't want to use the word warfare. I don't know what the word is, but subconsciously brainwashed. We have been brainwashed that white is right, whether we believe it or not. And yesterday, listening to the dean of psychiatry, like she said, we are also pro-black, Afrocentric. We are all of these things, but when you get to the root of us and you put us in a room, we're gonna look at the white and be like, oh, woo, 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 because it's in us. And we have to say, oh, wait a minute, that's still a cracker. Next, we have to consciously think about it when it comes.
It's in them because it ain't never been in me. No,
but you're an exception. But it's protective mode because back when they had the Jim Crow laws and even through slavery before Jim Crow, you couldn't look them in the face. You had to keep your head down.
Couldn't walk on the same side. You had to cross.
Right. So those things can build an inferior complex. I read a book. I can't remember which book it was. I read so many. But it was a guy, I think it was The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. Yeah, I think it was. Where it was a guy from India. It was that caste system in India. And I think he was in Britain. And he was a shoe salesman. And he just kept getting the shoes. No, I'm sorry.
That wasn't The New Jim Crow. That was
I can't remember which one it was.
I know. You go ahead because I think I know.
So he went to go buy some shoes, and the salesperson was really kind of pushing it on him. But because of that caste system, he couldn't say no. That he ended up buying the shoes he didn't like, and they didn't even fit. So that brainwashing is really, really permanent. And that's that book we're reading, Shakira, you read now, The Permanence of Racism in America by Abel.
Yep.
Faces at the bottom of the well.
It is that. I always make the joke that epigenetics is real, but it really is. Those type of traumas, those type of things attached to weaknesses in our DNA, and they become part of us. They become part of our offspring. They become part of our, daily life. And it's not it's very subconscious, but it is like for instance, us Black people, we keep our kids. When you go to the bank, they stand like this. You don't do that. You ain't running around, because if our kids go out there and run around, they get snatched up. White people let their kids do whatever the fuck they want to when they go out in the store.
It's their world.
Their asses up, and it's okay. Oh, they're just kids. No, not us, because we gonna keep ours in line. No, it's a play time and a play.
Some of y'all gonna keep them in line. Yeah, some of y'all. Let's say some of y'all.
Yeah, it's like the driving while Black theory. You have to teach your kids that. You make a good example. Because I remember I was in Miami and I was flying back home to Detroit. I had an early morning flight. So about 4:30, I was on my way to the airport. And lo and behold, so this was kind of rural area. Guess who I see out jogging? A white woman. White woman. Ain't no way in hell you gonna find some sisters in the city of Detroit out jogging 4:30 in the morning, because you know what's gonna happen.
Your ass gonna be kidnapped, snatched up.
You gonna get got. Exactly. So
because I have to agree with you. Maybe I am an exception, because they had to call my daddy in 7th grade homeroom, because I wasn't doing all that. I pledged allegiance to the flag. See, I didn't do all that. I wasn't with all of that, and they had to call him, and then he had to come up there.
So and, you was the Michael on Good Times before Good Times came out, right?
Yes, I was.
Remember, he wouldn't pledge allegiance or say something, he got suspended, and James
all of that.
Whoop him, and he just kept. I'm ready to take my punishment. Dad. He's
like,
wait a minute, Michael.
I said, well, call my daddy. We gonna call your mama. I said, my mama at work. My daddy works second shift, so call him. He at home, and they done woke him up, and he came, and he was like, "And this what y'all call me for?" And Miss Purdy me like, "Oh yeah, she didn't want to." He was like, "Come on," you know what I'm saying? He took me home. I mean, I came back the next day or whatever, and he was like, "You know what? I agree with you. And I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get in this. I'm going to see if y'all can work this out." And then, whatever. So the next morning he escorted me back to school. This is not what she wants to do. I'm not going to make her. So on this part of, can she just step out in the hallway if it bothers you that bad? Because he told her, white lady, it appears to be a personal thing with you. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Because you had a girl that was Muslim. She decided she didn't want to do it either. You had other people stepping up saying, "I'm not comfortable with it." He was like, "Well, just allow them to go into the hallway when you do that part. Then you bring them back in."
That's too much like right though on a regular basis. They don't.
I ain't pledged no allegiance to now. I didn't do it in elementary school. So what make you think I was gonna do it because I got to middle school in the 7th grade? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I think again, school is made to teach us their system. School is made, that's the ringing of the bell, that's the different breakdown, is made to do those things. And so when the teachers are taught, they are taught the same thing, or those same things are reinforced to them. So that's what they know. They say we got to do it, and now they threaten teachers for not doing it. They lose their job, they lose their livelihood. So it's part of this. Yes, the system. We just got to have enough people, I think, that says, wait a minute, hold on. If the shoe don't fit for this person, that's cool beans. Like your dad said, put them to the side. Is it isolating? Either they're going to be mad about being isolated, or they're going to, unfortunately, assimilate. But you can't force I just feel like certain things you can't force. So, side. And we don't have enough people bold enough to say
to do that. I mean, it's like war. With this war, 2,200 more Marines were sent off Friday. You campaign on no more wars, no more wars, no more war.
But it's not a war. That's the point. It's not a war.
No more killing. No more killing. And you're sending these folks off to die.
So I mean, I think that's the point. He can do it because it's not a war. He
Right.
can do it and not be technically breaking his
But
promise.
the other thing, I think people, you got to be kind of foolish to really believe everything a politician says during a campaign. They're not going to deliver that. That's just bluster.
These are what their hopes are. They
want
hope
is to
to
see.
deliver these
All
things.
they want is
this posturing to tell the people what they want to hear. Now, they may try to get some of those goals accomplished, but 9 times out of 10, they're not, because that's not what they go in for. They have a whole hidden agenda beyond what they say on the campaign trail.
Yep. They trying to get the perks. They trying to keep that insurance. They trying to keep them paychecks.
I want to be optimistic and say this, because the politicians and politics and everybody up there on the Hill work for us. They campaign on what we need and or want as a community, as a state, as whatever. They need to be more honest and say, I can try. These are my goals, because at the end of the day, if you don't have other people there that are aligned with those same things, they can't do it.
I agree.
So I feel like we can't beat them up for not doing everything that they promised in the campaign trail, because you have to have backing on it. So they can't. They can try, or they can.
President Obama always said, yes, we can. He did always say, yes, we can. And in several
yes, we can.
He said,
but
I'm not going to say, you know what I'm saying, what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you that, because I might not be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? He stood on business. He knew what it was. You know what I'm saying?
No, I mean, I guess that's why I don't want to be so negative to all politicians, because yes, they're trying to make sure they got their money and they got this. We all are. So why am I going to be mad at them for trying to make sure that they family straight or their household straight? That's what we all get up and go to work for. So I can't down them for that. What I can,
because we as taxpayers pay each one of y'all $174,000 a year.
They
90% of the year y'all at home.
They got that job knowing those stipulations. We put them in that job.
So we should be able to take them out. We didn't have to wait for no election to remove the bad seat.
Why? Because we knew that job calls for an election. Those are appointed seats based on election. Those are appointed seats based on people getting out there casting their vote. It's not like a regular 9-to-5 job where you can say you fired, I'm gonna put somebody else in there.
Well, it needs to be something. So it needs somebody.
If it needs to be, we need to find.
We gotta wait 4 years to get this man out, and he destroyed and bankrupt this country for no reason.
But Stacey, you have to find enough people to agree with that, so we can put those people in city council and all the lower courts to find other people who are already higher up and get it up there so that can be changed. It can't change automatically from this. You can't go from
change. It's like you said, people have to
take progress.
You know, because you're not gonna sit and convince me that this election shit just gonna go one way. And then when you get in there and doing the things that you're doing, putting us in starvation, putting us where we don't have health care, putting it where you got 40,000 people over the weekend in the city of Atlanta got put out of their homes. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it needs to be another side to this.
Yes, but how do you get it?
It ain't through an election.
Why not? Because you at the beginning of this, you said 70 million people voted
for this trash. I'm saying to make things better. They voted for the
voting is the key word.
You know,
because voting is the key word.
Elections made work in the 60s and 70s and 80s, but with technology now, elections that okay.
The reason it don't work now is because we started focusing at one point on presidential election and stopped focusing on school board and city councilman and all of this other stuff. We can't do shit for the presidential election if we don't have the small people under it, because those small people under it give us the seat to have a voice.
But you keep voting the same people in. They sit there 40 years, 35 years, 45 years and do nothing.
That's the point I'm making, sis. No, the reason they get to stay in there because nobody is educating them on the people on the bottom. So therefore, nobody even has the ambition to run for those positions.
So, Chicago, we did that for a whole year, Dr. Slaughter Church.
We did.
We did that for a whole year.
Yes, we did.
We brought in everybody, even the mayor of the city of Atlanta right now. He came in and said on. Bonnie Willis came in and said on that. We did that for a whole people. And they still went right back out there in the community, and then they put the same black people right back in them.
Because one community did it. We did that in one spot. What we don't have the resources for, and we might need to figure that out, is how can we have 50 other small town hall meetings in other communities at the same time with those same people. So we had it in the city of Atlanta. Everybody we had was city of Atlanta, and we had the city of Atlanta come out. And guess what? We changed stuff in that little area, but we needed somebody in the city of Augusta. We needed somebody in the city of Dallas. We needed somebody in the city of LaGrange at the same time with those local people so that it can make a difference. City of Atlanta can't do it by itself, because we did apparently make a difference, because you're right. We had Fonnie Lewis. We had people, remember, we had all them folks up there talking. We had people
that are now in office.
So we made a difference and an impact right here. So we need to group up with other people in other communities. I think Augusta will be good because it's a girl named Bree Woodson. She is 26, 27. She's overly educated, and she's running for that district. I think it's District 12. And she's grassroots. She ain't accepting nothing from nobody. She finally got her name on the ballot. We need people in that area to hold a town hall meeting or something for her and her people that are running with her, and give that information to maybe change that area. But the fact that we don't have the network to put it out there for everybody is what's holding us back. I think the reason the system don't work is because that network isn't there. We need to network with other people.
Okay, you can give me her name and possibly like an email or a phone number in the office that she in. You know how I do. I word them people to death, and they'll let us come down there to support her. Reach out to her camp.
Well, we don't need to come down there to support her. We need the people in that area to come down and support her.
Well, maybe outside influence might be a little bit of help. She can come on the podcast. Maybe come on the podcast, and then we get that out for Augusta. I know a young lady that works with me that lives in Augusta. So I'm just saying, like, if we can get her information, maybe get her on the podcast, hey, look, we trying to campaign. We can't vote for you, but we can try to get the word out for you.
So we need to do that in all areas, not just this one. That way it can make a difference, because nothing is going to change if all we know is President, Senate, Congress. We need to know House of Representatives, school board, lieutenant governor,
city council.
We need to know those, because that's where the difference is going to be made. Is it going to be made in 4 years? Hell fuck no. It's probably going to take 10, 15 years for it to work.
This girl, please, I'll be going on to be with the maker.
But you made the
change after this mess.
You've already made the impact, though, because we have to start, and every election and every cycle is different and it moves differently. So these people got to get in and get their feet wet so that the next person can come in, and the next group can get in and get their feet wet.
Who's running in York County? Who's running in Douglas County?
Right. Sean Harris and one of them two Republicans are doing a runoff on April 7th. For Marjorie Taylor Greene seat. Sean Harris is a vet. He's a lawyer. He's a military vet. He's a lawyer, black man.
Like the black guy, yeah.
Yes, he won his seat, so there's a runoff between him because they didn't get 50%. I don't know right now exactly where I stand, because I live outside the city of Hiram, but the city of Hiram has a referendum right now saying that they're going to dissolve the city and make it a county thing. So now I'm getting two different things in the mail. I'm getting city of Hiram information and the Paulding County information. So I honestly don't know how our voting for county works. In the last 2 weeks, it's been up in the air. So we got to figure that out. But I'm on it. I'm trying my best.
We won't ask about my area. It's Republican, so we
say that again.
Our clock on the wall says
oh,
it's time.
Oh, that's right, audience. We sorry. We are so sorry. We get so caught up, guys. I know, but trust me, if you knew us in our personal world, you know we do this on our cell phones. We do the same thing.
Look, because YouTube won't let us upload no more than 1 hour and 15 minutes, so we cut off at 1 hour. But this conversation can continue in the comments. Please, please, please. Go to the comments, go to Instagram, go to TikTok, because these conversations are still going to be going. I even started putting out the shit of the day. This good questions that make you think, things that make you go, It's based on the conversations that we've had on the show, but the shit of the day is just
no war.
Yes, so we
feed the poor. No war.
Feed the poor, no war. That's a good one. Let me write that down. Y'all gonna see that.
Feed the poor, no war. Okay, we're gonna need a flyer on that, sis.
Yes,
feed the poor, no war.
Give to the needy, not the greedy.
Yep, we need that.
Yep. Yes,
that we need that to be a flyer. Yep.
Yes.
All right, YouTube land, we love you guys, and we will see you soon. And like I said in the beginning of the show, just be a little patient because we do have personal lives, and we're going to get that. I promise you, Get Your Shit is going to get to a level like you haven't seen in a very long time. But it's going
to. We got our shit.
Because we got our shit.
We'll see y'all.
Bye.